This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment blog, coming to another edition of MLB Observation, Hot Stove Edition, Week 15 of the 2021-2022 off-season for Major League Baseball. So, with the lockout officially still going on, spring training is going to be delayed till March 5th. So there really isn't that many stories happening. Okay, we got Eric Thames, former Brewers slugger who went overseas and was really well. Well, he was overseas last year. Didn't have the greatest season, got hurt, so he's now back on a minor league deal with the A's. The A's don't have an exact guy at DH, but also there are rumors they could trade Matt Olson to like the Yankees or somebody else. So that can open up a first base DH spot for the A's. But with the universal DH pretty much happening in the National League, that will help other teams. But he's now on the A's where there is a DH. Nationals added a pair of analysts. They've just been redoing their whole entire front office, their scouting department, their minor league development, so just adding more people. Cubs announced that Boog Sciambi and Jim Deshaies, both the play-by-play guy and the color commentator, the former Major League Baseball player Jim Deshaies, they have an extension with the Cubs and Marquee Network, so they'll be there. And Juan Soto officially rejected a 13-year, $350 million contract because it looks like he wants to do the same thing that Bryce Harper and Anthony Rendon. Leave free agency from the Nationals and get way more money probably somewhere else, or if he does stay, he can get more money from them by turning this down. Mariners have re-signed Asher Wojciechowski to a minor league deal. The former starting pitcher and reliever is a pretty good swing guy, so that can help them out as they try to make the playoffs. White Sox signed this Roddy Reed to a minor deal as a backup catcher. The Sox have a lot of backup catchers. Zach Collins, Yohan Mercedes, and Zevi Zavala. So there's way too many guys. So it's just like he's never going to get playing time, especially as Monty Grandal's starter. Philly signed Yairo Munoz to a minor league deal, the super utility guy. Well, how about the Phillies? Because I'm not sure what they're going for with Scott Kingery, so they need a good, experienced utility guy who can play outfield and infield. Dodgers signed former Mariners outfield first baseman Stefan Romero to a minor league deal. This is organizational depth, but with the universal DH coming, this guy could get some at-bats there if there's some injury. Mariners signed infielder Eric Mejia to a minor league deal. Again, organizational depth, super utility guy. And the Rockies signed this minor league Zach Lee to a minor league deal. The former Dodgers pitcher, if he's healthy, can help them out with pitching depth. Felix De Brown is back pitching, at least relevant to the United States. He's going to join the Mexican League. This dude has bounced around from other leagues and minor league deal and independent ball, so he's at least now going to be pitching in Mexico. Charlie Tilson, formerly of the White Sox and Phillies, is signing a deal with the Chicago Hot Dogs, the independent league that's in Rosemont, Illinois. So that's cool. You guys can go see a former Major League Baseball player play for the White Sox, who's from this Midwest area, Illinois, and he's playing for the local, Rosemont team. Phillies have signed Josh Okami to minor league deal. That's organizational depth. The Dodgers signed Chris Betts to a minor league deal. That's for the catcher. So again, organizational depth to a minor league deal. Orioles picked up Shed Long. The Orioles have Rougned Odor, but outside of that, they have no idea who's going to play second, short, third, or even the outfield. So Shed Long, who's an infielder by trade, he can make this team specifically at least as a utility or platoon player, if not the everyday second baseman, because he's actually could be healthy. He hasn't been healthy the past couple of years, so that's his thing. But hey, this team finally has an opening, a real opening second base that it's anybody's game. He doesn't have to play the outfield. Rob Whalen, the former journeyman relief pitcher, he's joining independent baseball as well, like Charlie Tilson. He's joined the Frontier League. That is the league where Major League Baseball runs tests and sort of things, so they kind of are affiliated there. Danny Barnes, former Blue Jays relief pitcher who hasn't been the most healthiest and was with the bounce around for minor league deals. He's now officially joining the Mets in a coaching position, so congratulations to him. His career is now over. In terms of being a player, now he's a coach. Eric Kay, the Angels employee, was found guilty in distributing fentanyl to Tyler Skaggs. Hoping this guy goes into prison for as long as possible, because supplying drugs to somebody else, it's that person's responsibility to know if you give drugs to somebody, they're going to die, even though the other guy took it, so you can say his blame there. Nationals signed former Mets pitcher Logan Verrett's minor league deal. He's going to be a good swing guy for them, because the Nationals aren't sure, outside of Patrick Corbin and Steven Strasburg, who's in this rotation, and if not, he could still be in the bullpen. Twins signed Daniel Gossett to a minor league deal with Kenta Maeda out till September, and them trading Barria to the deadline last year. They also don't know who's in this rotation 100%. Gossett, former A's pitcher, can help out in the fifth spot. And Rockies signed relief pitcher Zach Neal and Dylan Overton to minor league deals. And again, the Rockies aren't going anywhere. These are guys that if they turn out to do well, they save money on signing a guy to veterans minimum. And if they work out really well, they can trade him at the deadline to other teams. And that is where you're like, okay, that's a good idea. That's the sort of thing that's happening here. And other big news in Major League Baseball is that Ryan Zimmerman announces retirement. Ryan Zimmerman, the first pick overall ever in the history of the Washington Nationals, where they were horrible, 100 losing season. Then they win like 90-plus games, but losing the playoffs every single year in the first round, the second round. Then they finally win that World Series in 2019, and he was there. And he could say, I stayed with this team my whole entire career. I won one World Series. In 2009, when I was an All-Star, I won the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger, proving I was the best player at best first baseman, both offensively and defensively. Before he even made it to Major Leagues, he won a gold medal in 2004 for the World University Championship in Tanzania. So, 2004 Tanzanian team. So, congratulations to him. He's got a gold medal, World Series. He was a two-time All-Star. He made the All-Star team in 2017. He won that other Silver Slugger in 2010. And he finished his career with 1,800 hits plus, 280 plus home runs, and 1,000 RBIs with a 2,070 batting average. The dude had this curse because years ago there was like a cover with Ryan Zimmerman, Troy Tulowitzki, and some other players, all saying what they were going to be the next person. And it was just Troy Tulowitzki was supposed to be the next Cal Ripken. He got hurt, never was the same player. Zimmerman, he was at one point the best offensive and defensive player at third base for a good chunk of his career, but injuries derailed his career. And the Nationals then at one point tried him in left field, and he was able to play left field and for a bit, and then they're just like, you know what? He's best suited if he is going to be a first baseman when first base spot opened up when they let go to Alan Moreau. So he can say, I did everything for this team. I moved to left field, I moved to first base. When we had the universal DH in 2020, he didn't play, he opted out. But that would have been a time for him to be in a DH, but in interleague play, he could have been a DH. He opted out due to because whatever reasons, because he wanted to be with his family and things like that. But he is 37, so he's at the end of his career. At most, he was going to be was a backup infielder, a first base pinch hitter, universal DH. This year, he probably could have got DH spot. But injuries really ruined his career because he has under 2,000 hits, under 300 home runs, and only 1,000 RBIs. Imagine if injuries didn't derail his career and he's playing a prime position like third base, and he had 400 home runs. He had 1,200 RBIs. He had 300. He had, as I said, like 400 home runs. He had 1,200 RBIs, and he maybe had 2,200 hits. You're like, wow, that's pretty good for that guy. But, again, injuries derail career. Rest in peace to Seattle Mariners pitcher Calvin Jones. He went overseas to pitch most of his career, but he did pitch for the Mariners, winning 5 games, losing 7, having a 4.33 ERA, and striking out 91 batters. He passed away from cancer the other day, so rest in peace to Calvin Jones. Happy trails to Ryan Zimmerman and the Danny Barnes, now on the Mets coaching staff. Thanks for listening to another edition of MLB Observations, Week 15 for the 2021-22 MLB offseason Hotstove edition. For On the Radar Tape Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.